Hello, my name is Brian McManus, and today we will be learning how to code in CodeBlock software. So my introduction, so essentially within this slideshow, I'll be presenting you with the information on how to operate the computer program called CodeBlocks. Within this, we'll be learning multiple ideas from different sources and how we can code in C language and how it can be applied to the CodeBlocks program. So going into this, we will only be focusing on the C language since the C language is the basic and the most universally used method of programming in which it is used within most of our programs. So we'll be focusing on this basic language first. So source one is computer basics. So essentially my author for this source was Daniel F. Cohen. He is currently a pathologist from Galveston, Texas, who has a medical degree from McGill University Faculty of Medicine, in which they use this computer software to do medical tests and target diseases through their practices. Essentially, coding is very important, and knowing the computerized softwares to run these medical tests and target diseases and really be able to run the simulations through these computers. Essentially, his text shares basic functions of the computer's hardware and software. He goes into detail about the different storage capacities within a computer, as well as he goes into specific detail about the operating system, which is essentially the mainframe and the main control program of a computer. And he dives into the different functions of this operator. Now, this will relate to my guide because Cohen walks through vital steps before you even start coding, in which you need to know the computer and its functionalities. Without knowing the computer and its functionalities, you will not know the purpose for your codes, in which, in saying this, you won't know what's wrong or why you even need to code in the first place. So, knowing the computer and its functionalities, this will be very essential to becoming a coder. Source 2, programming language in C language. My authors were Brian W. Cunningham, who is currently Canadian computer scientist, where he studied at the University of Toronto and earned his computer science PhD at Princeton, where he is now a professor in the computer science department, as well as Dennis M. Ritchie, who was an American computer scientist who actually created the C language and was also head of his own corporation called Lucent Technologies. He was also awarded the National Medal of Technology by President Bill Clinton. Um, Within the text, we are given different ideas and we're given the entire breakdown of C language and different ideas on how we can use them. They go over complex and simple codes, with each chapter getting more complex as it goes on. However, it is your basic guide, everything you need to know about C language. Now, this is very essential to learning the code block system since we will be using the C language to operate it. So, this will teach us the basic codes in which we can apply to the program and perform our first codes. We could continue to build off of this and design more complex codes in the future using the guide, but right now we're focusing on the more simple codes. So, my synthesis is essentially in source one we were able to see the computer software and hardware functionalities. Um, within source one we learned about the storage capacity and the bytes and gigabytes. Given this, each code that we produce from source two, the series of codes coming from the handbook, um, we learned that each code has a certain capacity. So in saying this, we have to consider this so that we can create a program very that performs well, but at the lowest storage possible. Furthermore, we must also know the destination, the purpose of our codes. Saying this from source one, we use the operator manager as well as just learning basic functionalities of the computer. And we use the C language codes from source two to funnel and target this information and give commands to the computer so then we can find out what the issues are, or just target different programs within the computer so we know why we're doing this. When we funnel the information together, this reveals the need of each source's information to complement each other, in which they both use specific pieces of information to help you become a more complete coder. So, in conclusion, given these two sources, we're able to use the basic functionality of code blocks and be able to string together simple codes. Furthermore, given Cohen's article, we're able to use this information about the software and hardware of a computer and apply a purpose to the codes that we learned from Kerningham and Ritchie's guide. We're also able to learn the functionalities of a computer and why we give the computer commands to function the software and hardware to ensure the computer works properly and efficiently. Again, it's finding the purpose as a coder. So you are given your strings of code, but if you have strings of code without a purpose, then what's the point of coding? So essentially, given these two sources, they work hand in hand. And these are my references. Thank you so much for your time.